What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I feel like it's been quite a bit, and I'm pretty excited to make this video. Feel refreshed, so let's go ahead and dive into it today. I'll give you guys an update on the portfolio. You'll see some of my last few days' performance, including today, which was a very clean day. And we're going to break down one of the trades from today, and I have that whole trade recorded live, which is NVIDIA. This morning, we had a very clean pullback level on NVIDIA to fill the morning gap. This is something I want to go ahead and talk into some detail today because we've been seeing quite a bit of gap ups in the pre-market. Now, with those gap ups in the pre-market, it leaves behind a level to fill the gap up level. Once we come back to that level, typically we see some type of buying, potentially setting up a beautiful pullback long opportunity. So today we got that very clean pullback early morning. I trusted that level. I set up my trade and we got a beautiful just about 80% profit on these options today. I called that all out in the live trading. You guys will see that in today's video, the live trade, and we'll break down exactly why I took this position. This is something I want to make sure you guys are looking for, those gap ups, not chasing the gap ups, looking for the gaps to fill, and then looking for that pullback long opportunity. It has been a very lucrative thing to be looking at on this market. Now, after we talk about NVIDIA and you watch that live trade, I want to go ahead and talk about a semiconductor stock that not a lot of people are talking about and has a really, really interesting chart right now. Now, of course, if semiconductors pull back, if we don't see that strength continue, this stock likely will not continue as well. But if we continue to see that semiconductor craziness that we've been seeing, this is one that I want to make sure you have your radar on. This is very interesting. So stay tuned for that chart. It's a very interesting break and retest that I'm in right now, and I will likely add to as this starts to set up. With that said, let's jump right into it. So guys, here's NVIDIA. It's about 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We've gotten a nice pullback on NVIDIA, and this is something I would be watching into close. Obviously you're seeing this video after the market closes, but obviously I've already talked to the group about this opportunity. Look what NVIDIA just did, right? Real time here. NVIDIA pulled back. It pulled right back down to that previous double top high at 710, and it is looking like it's starting to turn it into a very nice support. These are the pullbacks, right? These are the things you're looking for to present opportunity, right? Everyone gets scared when there's a pullback, when the market's going straight up, but pullbacks are your friends, and this is what you want to see. So 710, 710, this pullback right here that is wicking back to the upside and moving up pretty aggressively right now, potentially your next long entry on NVIDIA here off 710. This is looking very good. We'll see how this plays out, but that's not the trade that we're talking about today. What we're talking about today, we got to go down to the 5-minute chart, and we got to talk about the gap up that we saw in the pre-market. So here is Friday into today, right? This is Friday's close into today's open. And what we saw was a little gap up on the pre-market right off of that Friday high, right? So we had a Friday high, previous day high, which you guys know I always talk about, the previous day high presenting opportunity on a pullback to that level, right? That is what we look for all the time. So we had a previous day high right around the $722 per share level. Now, what also did we have? We had a gap up right here off that level, right? We off 722, we had a little gap form in the pre-market back to the upside. So coming into today, logically, right, what is our first level to look for? We are looking to see, can NVIDIA pull back after a morning gap up? Can it pull back, hold that 722, turn this area into a new support? And if it does, can we long this thing back to the upside? This is the idea that we look for every single day. Are we above the previous day highs? If the answer to that is yes, let's look for a pullback to that high, and let's look to long off of it. Are we below previous day lows? If the answer is yes, let's look for a bounce back into that previous day low, and let's look to play a rejection. It's the same consistent thing every single day, and once again, a beautiful opportunity and a beautiful example for you guys to learn from. So you can see previous day highs, 722, Friday's highs, gap fill level, perfect pullback to that 722, and an awesome long opportunity off that level today. I'm going to break this back down to the 2-minute chart so you can get into a little bit more detail about exactly what happened here. You can see early morning, we had that bounce off 722, which is right here, 722. You can see we had that early morning bounce off of it, creating a really aggressive trade. But what did I do, right? I didn't catch this along. So what do you do in that situation, right? Let's say you're watching 722 coming into the morning, right? That's your plan. 722, I'm looking along that level. So if you didn't trade within the first 2 minutes of the day, well, hey, You might have missed it, right? It's gone. It's up to $7.32 now. It's up $10 a share. I already missed this long. I'm not going to chase this stock, right? That's the proper way to think about it, because if it's a possible retest level, if it's something that could get tested again, let's wait for that to happen. Let's be the patient traders. Let's look to see if the idea or the opportunity presents itself again. And I understand, right? NVIDIA is going straight up. Everything in your mind as a human being is telling you that you need to chase this. Everything in your mind as a human being is telling you that this is not going to pull back. I'm going to miss out on the greatest opportunity ever, and I'm going to chase this thing off my screen, right? That is not what we want to be thinking. That is not the mindset that we need to have as traders to be successful, right? It's either a long off 722 or it's nothing. It's either a long off 710 or it's nothing, right? This is what I was talking to the group this morning. So we go to my technical analysis this morning, and if you come to the pre-market live stream, right, which is also a fantastic place to get this exact game plan every morning for free here on YouTube. If we go to NVIDIA, I said the clear pullback you want is 710. The retest of 710 would create an amazing entry point. Do we get it? I am not sure. However, the most patient will come out on top. We can also look for a gap fill long around 722. If we break under 722, I will be waiting for the 710 retest, right? This is my exact game plan from this morning for the group to see. If we go to NVIDIA today, we can see not only did we get the long off 722, which is right here. This was a great long that we took, which we will show you live. We also got the pullback towards that 710, which created another possible opportunity. So some very clean levels, trusting the levels, and only trading off our levels is going to be the clear thing that we need to continue to focus on and continue to pay attention to stay profitable, right? So we have 722. That was our level. We saw this start to maintain here early or afternoon today, resulting in a fantastic upside squeeze. And this was the trade that I took. All right, guys, so to go into a little bit more detail of this trade, we're going to use TradeZella. Then, of course, you're going to see the live trade. But you can see here, I have not yet to update Thursday, Friday, and today on TradeZella. So I'm going to do that live with you right now. I'm going to go ahead and pull in the CSV file straight from TradeZella. We're going to go to import trades. We're going to drag that CSV in, and we're going to see this populate my Thursday, Friday, and my Monday trading day. So you can see right here, Thursday, 3.5, Friday about 2,000, and today I went ahead and realized some really nice profits on some swing trades. I will go into briefly some of those swing trades. I'm not going to make today's video about those swing trades, but we'll briefly talk about them. So one of the trades was AMD. One of the trades was Google. I went ahead and I fully realized the Google trades. You can see updates on that Google position on Twitter, on Instagram. Go ahead and check those out, guys. Follow my socials. I posted everything about Google on Twitter, on X, why I was taking it, why I was holding it over the weekend. You can check that all out live there on X. Go ahead and follow me there. Great place to go ahead and follow me for some updates on my positions. AMD, a position that I opened last week that I'm holding into today. Took some profits at the highs today. I'll go ahead and give you a sneak peek about that trade. This is from Desi Swings in our community. You can see right here on the 9th at 10:18, I longed AMD next week 175 calls, and I was going for a longer-term 4-hour hold on AMD. I talk about this trade in the live stream almost every morning. This was, again, a really nice trade there, and I went ahead and I locked in just about. I still hold a little bit, but you can see I've locked in a pretty healthy portion of it. I had 20 contracts. I believe I'm down to 5. So you can see right here, locked some in at the highs today. This is where I entered back here on Friday, locked some in today, but I still do hold some, and I am probably down a little bit on the remaining position that I hold. So those were 2 swing trades that are straight from the Desi Swing section in the community. Feel free to check it out if you're interested. That was majority of the profits I made today, but we do have the NVIDIA trade that I want to talk about. This is NVIDIA, and this is the trade that we're really diving deep into today, because I believe that this trade really gives a good idea about the break and retest and really presents to you what trusting the levels really means and how I stick to that word and stick to that sort of lifestyle in my trading. So you can see here NVIDIA, I went ahead and I entered here around 9:57. I'll go ahead and pop up the entries and exits for you guys to see straight on the screen, straight from Interactive Brokers. I went ahead and I entered here at 9:57, and I exited some up here at 10:29. and exited more up here at 1043. And I still do hold one contract, obviously being back down a little bit, but I've locked in majority of this trade. At the peak, these contracts were up about 80%. So you can see right here, I entered around 13, got out some at 15, got out some at 18, right? And at the peak of these contracts, I think I'll be able to pull that up. Let's see if I can see the peak of the contracts here on TradeZella. The peak of these contracts, they ran to 24. So from 13 to 24 is where these contracts went. I got out a little bit at 15, a little bit out at 18, and they went up to 24. So this was just about an 80% possible move here on these NVIDIA contracts. This was an awesome intraday move, all based off of that key level, that 722 retest hold that we were talking about. So let's go back into NVIDIA. Let's take a look at this just one more time before we go over that live trade. We had a Friday high right here at 722. We had a gap at 722. We had the morning bounce off 722, which I didn't chase. I waited for us to come back down, and we started to see a very strong maintain here. So in my mind, right, at this time, once again, how we sort of think about that risk reward here, if we zoom into this, right, what I did was I entered along in this area. My idea here is that I would have a stop loss under 722 with the opportunity of NVIDIA obviously doing an NVIDIA type move and pushing back to the upside. In this case, it was probably about a 5, 6, 7 to 1, right? My stop loss is right under this 722. I know that if we fail under 722, I get out. Very structured trade, very easy stop loss. But if we continue to hold that very key level, which I know is key due to my analysis and the break and retest, then I can look to see if we can continue to the upside. The next thing, the last thing that I want to talk about real quick is why I also was confident to long NVIDIA this morning, and that is the fact that the NASDAQ and the QQQ were holding this very strong pre-market low here around this 436.60. You guys can see right here, we had this pre-market low, right? And look at all that demand that was stepping up this morning, creating this flag formation. And once we got that breakout, right, that is where I really started to get confident on that NVIDIA trade. So real quick, before I run the live recording, you can watch me trade this live in real time. Here's what I want to do. I want to talk to you about a potential setup that I am very interested in. This is a semiconductor stock, and it is MRVL, Marvel, however you want to pronounce it. I want to show you something that is quite interesting here. And again, another break and retest opportunity. So what I'm looking at here on MRVL is, number one, it checks the box for crazy semiconductor strength, right? That's number one. It checks that box. What is hot right now? Semiconductors. This is a semiconductor that we need to be paying attention to. Number two, what's the technical setup? The technical setup is a break and retest on both the weekly and daily chart. So what we're looking at here is some previous highs around 66, some very clear double top highs at 66 that we have recently squeezed over. Now, after squeezing over this level, we've had about a 2-week, 3-week period of consolidation and pullback back to that 66 level. Now, after coming back to that 66 level, which is right here, what has been going on this daily chart? Let's go ahead and zoom in, right? On this daily chart, we can see some very clear wicking action back to the upside right off that previous rejection high, which was 66. So what is this? This is a break. This is a retest. This is a consolidation above previous highs, turning it into new lows. And this is a potential continuation move in the making. You have the 20 SMA, which is holding this stock higher, which it has in the past. 20 SMA right here. You're back at that 20, and you're maintaining that daily 20. On top of that being a break and retest, consolidation off 66, and a possible continuation move setting up here. I am very interested in this. I'm holding some March 15th calls here on MRVL with no plans to get out of this position until it breaks under 66. I'm going to continue to build this position, hold it until it breaks under 66, and let this thing ride. This is a very interesting daily chart setup. It's in the semiconductor sector, and they report earnings here on March 7th. March 7th, we have earnings from MRVL. This is the weekly chart. We have a weekly major high that is turned into a major weekly low here in the short term. If this starts to build off this, right, this could be a fantastic opportunity to catch a semiconductor stock that's sort of in the background, not quite as talked about, that maybe has some surprise earnings, right? This is something I would absolutely be keeping an eye out for. This is not financial advice. Don't just simply buy this because I'm saying it, but it's something I would do some due diligence into, see if you like to set up yourself. That is an interesting break and retest to keep an eye out for. All right, guys, with that said, let's go ahead and run this live recording. You can watch me trade NVIDIA live today. Of course, if you want to watch me trade live every day, you can go ahead and check out the Discord link down below. I do it every single morning in Discord live for you guys to see everything. I share every entry, every exit. If you want to check it out, try to learn that break and retest strategy a little bit more, go ahead and check out the link below. I have a discount code on the screen for you guys to use if you're interested in signing up. Make sure to press that like button before you head out. Enjoy this live trade, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Yeah, NVIDIA 722 might be worth a small shot. We are back at my level. Yeah, meta strong. Possibly NVIDIA just runs away from me here. I wouldn't mind another pullback to that 722. Might not get it, though. This might just run away. It's a nice hold to 722 again. Not in NVIDIA yet. Need to see a little bit more strength there. Yeah, I'm in meta for this week. Meta 480 calls. Stop under 473. All right, I'm also going to take NVIDIA. Stop under 722. Just going to try my level. That's all. Just going to try my level. I took NVIDIA 730s. Just going to try my level. That's all. Just going to trust it, right? Can't really think too much into that one. 722 held twice today. That was my level. Not thinking any more into it. Taking it. ARM holding 124 very nicely. NVIDIA still holding well. Got to give it time. Time and space. AMD, I'm a little bit cautious of 175, bubs. So Google all out. Made $2,400 on Google. Up 670. It's really 700 now on Meta. Still holding some AMD and still holding NVIDIA. NVIDIA, easy money, man. Just got to trust it. Easy money, just got to trust it. All right. Boom. Just got to trust it, man. That's got to trust our level. That QQQ flag could get pretty sexual here. There goes NVIDIA, baby. Beautiful. Done. What a day. What a day. Congratulations, guys. Both our trades hit very nicely today. Going to take a little bit of size off NVIDIA here. And that's it, guys.